We are more than halfway through 2024 and Pokemon has been crazy this year. We've seen several sets come out, most of them doing pretty decently, a lot of chase cards throughout the year as well. But for today, we're going to be looking at some cards that you potentially want to invest in as they are currently affordable. So we're not going to be looking at any of the heavy hitters, such as your Magikarps or your Greninjas, but some of the medium to lower cards that we're going to see rise in the future or have already started to rise. So let's lock in. So we're going to start it off with some Scarlet and Violet, and we're going to end it off with a couple of cards from Sword and Shield. And the first one we're going to look at is Iron Hands EX, this beautiful illustration rare. So looking at 3 months ago, this card was going for about $35 and now is going for approximately $25. So a huge dip there, actually, about 25%. I just really like him running through the walls and just breaking it over and over again. And in all honesty, for a $25 card, it's not bad. I don't know what the price point will be in the future for this card, but I think it's pretty low right now, if you ask me for my opinion, of course. So again, this is one that I would consider adding. We may see it go back up in the future. Again, I know there was some playability with Iron EX, and most people were using the other cards from the set, just the regular EX and the full art. But this one right here is a beauty, and again, it has dropped in price significantly. So it is something to consider grabbing for your collections, as it may again increase in the future. And just for all of you folks looking at some of the recent sales on this one, so we're looking at anywhere between $27 to $34 Canadian. So I'm looking at Canadian dollars when it comes to the sale of these cards. So again, not too bad. The shipping on these are a little bit ridiculous, $20 and $15. Go check out your local retailers for this one. You can probably save yourself that shipping, and it should be available more or less to grab this card right now, as it's just a card from Paradox Rift. Really, it should be available. Next up is Eevee from Twilight Masquerade. Of course, we have to touch on this one because I think I said this in one of my earlier videos, but this card should take over the #1 spot from Magikarp from the regular illustration rare cards. So the highest point of this card was $69 US, and that was just about a few days ago, I mean about a week or two ago. Now it has trickled down a little bit to 57. So again, it had a little bit of a pullback, which is normal, but we also saw some dip in the Magikarp as well. So future, honestly, card's only been out for, I want to say like 2 months or so now, 2.5 months. It may cross that line of $100. It may surpass the Magikarp, because let's be honest here, Eevee is more popular than Magikarp. It is what it is, right? So again, we'll see what happens. This is a definite pickup for me. Everyone had a chance at picking this one up when it was about a $30 or $40 card. Now we're getting into those $50, $60, even close to $70 mark. Again, if you want to invest in this card, now's the time to do it, because I don't foresee it dipping any further. Again, we've seen a little bit of a correction now. You have a chance to pick it up for a little bit less. So if you are looking for it, now's the time. And looking at some of the recent sales, again, just about a week ago here, we've got $96 and $100. So about $100 Canadian. It's quite up there. Again, when you do the conversion between CAD and US, $70 is just roughly under $100 Canadian. So it makes sense that that's what it's going for in Canadian. Again, you're getting killed here on the shipping with $20, $22. So again, look at your local retailers. Twilight Masquerade is a beautiful set. It has a lot of great cards in it, and this one over here is definitely one of the top 5 or top 2, I would say, even from the set. Now that I think of it, one of the waifu cards may actually be in the second spot, but again, it's definitely in the top 3, and it's definitely something you want to consider picking up as well. Next up is Gastly from Temporal Forces. This one also is picking up. Again, this was about a $17, $18 card a few months back, and now it's about a $28 card. So it's really making its move upwards. About a $10 increase in just about a month. That's pretty good for an illustration rare card. Personally, I really like this card. I mentioned it in one of my earlier videos as well. I like how there's all the Gastlys, we've got Haunter, Gengar, we've got Meowth hanging out there. And if you look in the background there, you also have a beautiful full moon. Honestly, I don't have this card and I would love to get it. I'm hoping that I do pick it up. I'm not opening too much Paradox Rift right now. I'm more into Twilight Masquerade, and I'm looking into what's going on with Shrouded Fable, as well as some of the newer sets to come out. I'm not focused on opening these packs, but I would like to pick this one up as a single to add to my collection. So again, decent price. I do see this one going up a little bit more as well, something to consider grabbing. And recent sales on this one, we're looking at anywhere from $27 to $33. Shipping is not too bad on this, $2, $2.50. It's what's your normal shipping should be. Again, most of the guys that are selling these cards that are more than $50 or so, and I do the same thing when it comes to this, is that you want to take a little bit of security and put some insurance on it, so you'd add $10 or $15 the shipping so that you can ensure that the individual who buys the card is getting the card. But here we're seeing it for about $250. The risk is willing to be taken here so that they can save on the shipping for the customers. But it's not bad. It's really not bad. 27 to 33 bucks. Again, this is a card that I would pick up right now. Moving into just a couple of cards from the Sword and Shield era. The first one we're looking at here is Beedrill from Astral Radiance, Beedrill V. So topped out at around a $49 card and has trickled back down to about 29 bucks. Honestly, I was never a fan of this card to begin with. I know I did some top 10 cards in Sword and Shield and whatnot. Never made it. Obviously, it was never that expensive. But you know what? $28 is not bad, and I'm starting to like it a little bit more now. And it's just, he's in the field there with all the other Beedrills. I'm starting to like the concept of having multiple Pokemon in the same card as well. I think that's what it is. And they're just kind of like collecting the nectar there. So it's a really nice card. And again, $28, it's really, really not bad. Again, card that I would consider investing in right now as well. And looking at some of the recent sales, so we're looking around $41 to $42. Again, the shipping is a little bit higher on this one. It looks like when it gets to $40 or higher, people tend to increase the shipping so that they can ensure that the product is shipped. Again, if you're looking for this card, go to your local retailers. You can probably get it for around that $40. You may even be able to bargain a little bit to bring it down. Most storekeepers are pretty chill when it comes to that. So again, if you're looking to pick up something cool from Astral Radiance, this Beedrill is definitely a pickup right now. And again, Astral Radiance is sold out in the Pokemon Center. You can't get a booster box now. You'll have to pay a little bit of a premium if you do want to get it from some third parties. But again, if you're looking for just some singles, you can probably pick this one up for around the $40 mark. Next up is Starmie V from Astral Radiance as well, and this one's the Trainer Gallery. So we've touched on this card when we made a top 10 video on Trainer Gallery cards from Sword and Shield era, but now this card has declined. So it topped out at around $67 US and now has trickled to a $50 US card. This is a card that I really want in my collection. I wasn't able to pull it and I didn't want to buy it for about $67 or $70. So again, now is a chance for you to get it for about 50 bucks. And looking at some of the recent sales on this one, we're looking at anywhere from $50 to $100. It's a bit off. Shipping is up there as well. You're looking at $21 shipping here for one and then $36 shipping for another on this other one. So again, go to your local retailer. You might be able to pick it up for a little bit cheaper. $55 is not too bad though. If you can get it with less shipping, it's less than the market price because again, these are Canadian values. So technically $50 US should be around 65 or 67 Canadian. But again, as I mentioned, Astral Radiance, difficult booster box to pick up for MSRP at this point. You probably can't. Sold out in the Pokemon Center. And this is a card that I would consider buying as well because again, Misty does really well. We've seen that in other sets, X and Y and whatnot from other series, that Misty in general just tends to do well. It's a popular character at the end of the day. This card will probably pick up in value somewhere in the future. Anyways, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. These are the few cards that I selected that you want to consider buying right now, as they have had either a little bit of a decline or they're still at a relatively low price currently. Personally, for me, I think grabbing that Gastly as it's relatively cheap right now is a good idea. Eevee is something that you want to consider buying as well, as I feel like that one may surpass the Magikarp. And of course, we looked at the Starmie and the Beedrill from Astral Radiance, both of which had a little bit of a dip, but we can see them having future growth as they are starting to get a little bit older. Anyways, folks, let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are on these cards, or if there are other cards that you want to consider investing in right now. And if you like this content, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. My name's TRV, and we'll see you next time.